Okay, so look what I've got here today. I've got here a Moto Guzzi V7 750cc V90. Now this bike here is gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. So if you're looking for a classic bike and you want to spend less than 6k, I recommend you to test drive this bike. The torque on here is tremendous. It's brutal. It's got a very vicious engine braking as well. I like it. So I'm just gonna go to my usual spots and let you guys have a look at it. It's a wicked bike. I really like this bike, and for the price, that's what I like about it. It's really nice for the price. As you accelerate, it just wobbles from side to side. It's like the BMW R9T. The sounds on this is gorgeous. This is standard can as well. I don't think you can hear the sound on it, but it's a typical V engine configuration. You guys have a little squids on this. There's a lot of leaves on here, so I've got to be careful. Yeah, you know, concern. So this is a Moto Guzzi V7. It's a lovely bike. I mean, you really have to see this in the flesh because you know, it doesn't do its justice just looking at it on the TV screen. It's a very typical classic bike. It's very nice. Shaft driven. V90. I think it's 90. Yep. You could change the exhaust and get some aftermarket exhaust, and then you would be really savage. Yeah, I like it. I really do like it. I like most of the bikes, to be quite honest. It's not many bikes I don't like. Would I buy this bike? Definitely. For the price, yeah. The only thing what I would do though, I wouldn't buy this particular one. I would buy the Racer because it's got different handlebars. It's got a lovely seat on it. But yeah, definitely for the price, I think it's well worth it. Okay, let me show you what I always like about these checking bikes out is just to check the space, if there's any storage, and as you can see, not much storage, so you can't put a chain on here, which is a bit shame really, because I like a storage for the chain for commuter bike. Oh well. But other than that, that's the only downfall really, is storage. I suppose you can get a little box on it, or I don't like putting a big chain on a bag, but look at it, just wobbling. You can't really see that, but it's really wobbling. Right, the only thing about this gearbox, it doesn't have that positive feel. So you know when you have to select it in gear, it just literally slide in gear. Hasn't got that mechanism to clunk into gear. So you don't really know if it's actually in gear or not. That's just my first impression on it. So I don't know, maybe it's just this bike. But it's really comfortable ride. I had my missus at the back of this bike, and she was amazed at how comfortable it was. Sounds gorgeous though, it really does. It's got a really good acceleration on there. Great lean. Yeah, so when I picked up this bike, I had full leather gear because I was riding the sports bike, and I felt uncomfortable riding this bike with this with the full leather gear. I really did. So that's one of the reasons why I'm in kind of motorbike jeans and a nice little jacket. It's a bit suiting for this bike. Yeah, and I feel much more comfortable with this gear on with this particular bike. One thing I noticed about this bike here, if you don't rev match and you're going and you're selecting a lower gear, the back wheel locks up. I don't know if it's because it's a shaft driven bike or yeah. So good, so far so good. Yep, so far so good. Just can't get over the wobble on this bike. Oh gosh, I've got to get myself one of these bikes as well. Oh, if I had the money, I would buy every single bike going. So it hasn't got a gear indicator on here. All it's got is a petrol light, and that's it. Engine light, obviously, that's normal. Oil. It's got a single turn indicator, and pretty much that's it on it. What do I dislike about this bike? Possibly the finish. I mean, the black matte is quite a new bike, but it looks like it's fading away. Other than that, it's not really anything else. I mean, for the price, you can't really expect a really good quality finish, but yeah, that first gear is savage. Selecting first gear is absolutely savage. The engine braking on that is pretty vicious. So I've been riding this bike now for almost 15 miles now, and yeah, it's very comfortable, very comfortable. This is definitely a bike you should look at if you're thinking of a VE twin, or if you're thinking of a bike which is similar to the BMW R9T, but obviously not as torquey as the R9T. Look no further, this bike will do. So cruising on the highway is not too bad on this bike. As I said, it's very comfortable. I mean, you do get a lot of winds, but this is natural really for this bike. It's a typical classic bike. Yeah, it's very stable at high speed as well. I mean, this is not too fast. So I must admit that this is the very first time I've actually seen a Moto Guzzi V7. I've never seen one before until now. So there's not many of these bikes around. So if you are looking for something really special and something different, then maybe you try one of these bikes. The only thing is, I don't know what the parts are like for this bike. I've no idea. Are they available? Are they in good stock? Do you have to wait a week or so? And I think there's only 2 dealers in 50-mile radius. Yeah, so after all that, the suspension on that is really hard. Don't know if I could dial it in and out. I reckon they should have a dedicated lane for motorcyclists. This is gorgeous, look at that. So the conclusion of this bike so far, after driving for a while now, and a 24-hour experience with this bike, it's a great bike to. It really depends on the market and what you want it for. I mean, I feel this bike is typically a summer bike. It's a nice classic style of bike. The seats is quite comfortable, but the suspension is really hard. And if you're looking for a V, then this is a great bike for the price. Engine braking on here is vicious. Alright, so here is a Moto Guzzi V7. goodbye. Lovely one.